Have you asked yourself, why is the world an absolute dumpster fire right now? Like, is it social media? Is it, you know, TV? Why are we in such a mess today? And why are there so many stupid people, considering there's so much information out there that people can read, that they can gather, and that they can gather their thoughts with? Well, I went down that rabbit hole and I found mind control and when it started, how it started, and how we've been developing mind control to be specific to three categories that the entire world governments and three-letter agencies have pretty much placed us in. If you're wondering where I got this from, there's a report called the Henry Kissinger Report. Let me show you. It was basically written in 1974, and it is called the National Security Study Memorandum, or the NSSM 200. It started because the government was scared that we would have a population, overflow, and that we would not have enough resources to keep the population asleep, and that they would turn on the government. So literally, population growth became a national security for the government. And so they deployed a bunch, and I mean a bunch of propaganda, whether it was MK Ultra, whether it was media, MSM, propaganda, indoctrination in schools, universities, high schools, you name it. Every single aspect of our life started to change so that we would fit into one of the three categories that they have us categorized now. And I wanted to show you guys a bell curve that I made, that I got from the sources and pulled the information from, but I couldn't really find a bell curve of it. So I drew one for you, and I'll kind of explain what I've read in certain CIA papers. Let me show you. So out of a population in every country, so this is like an entire world population, you have truly asleep, truly awake, and then people in the middle. But let me tell you what they categorize us as. So you've got this group, which are the NPCs, and these 10% on each side are people who kind of take characteristics of both the sheeple and the awake, or the NPC and the sheeple. So you've got the NPCs, which the government calls useful idiots. Then you've got the middle group, the largest population, which is called the sheep or the sheeple. Then you have 20% goats. Now, if you've ever raised goats, you know why the CIA calls the awakened goats. And those of you who think that there is truly an awakening happening, it's not. It's just that this 10% is getting louder. The sheep will always be sheep. And what's interesting about each group is it has nothing to do with your social status, religion, political status, or how much money you make, what your education level is. It has to do with IQ and how emotionally awake you are. And it's super interesting, and I'm thinking of doing an entire series of basically explaining to people how they're being targeted by the government for propaganda.